make enough money and there's financial stress, divorce. If they're working too much and they're never home, divorce.
I'm tired of being single. I want to be a wife.
I'm not even gonna lie, I really am a lover girl, and my end goal for relationships is to be married one day.
So I've come to the conclusion that women are hotter than men.
Marriage today isn't the same as back then. That very concept is dead to most men.
Men who don't want to listen to angry women aren't actually interested in listening to women at all.
Be careful about dating divorced men. No woman is divorcing a good man.
So men are asking women on walking dates now in 2024. Dating in 2024 has become extremely hard.
Marriage today isn't marriage.
I agree. Marriage today for women is a quick way for them to get rich off the man. Kindly subscribe to the channel as it further supports us in our work. Thank you.
If I was a man in today's society, I would not get married. Let me explain. In the modern era, marriage is completely outdated. The tax breaks you get from it aren't even that good. And to be really honest, it is geared towards protecting the woman in the relationship in the event of divorce.
Couldn't be me. I'll marry a man who very enthusiastically and confidently wants to marry me without any nudging or convincing, or I'll marry no man at all.
This is why marriage is a bad idea for men. A marriage used to give a man a stable life, a life in which he was enjoying the support of a wife, while he was providing financial security. But today the divorce rates are so high that men often find themselves having to pay half of what they've made during the marriage. And because the traditional roles of men being the breadwinners and women being the homemakers are no longer the norm, there is a lot of confusion. There's more equality, and because women work nowadays, they've become way more independent and they have less time to be busy with playing the traditional role of the wife. But men find it hard to adapt to this new role of not just being the financial provider, but also having to help around the house because the wife doesn't have time anymore to do it all alone. And although women wanted to work and therefore they entered the man's world, men never asked to enter the women's world and to also become homemakers. And that's why many men don't want to get married anymore. They feel it's a ripoff. They think that at the end of the day it will cost them a lot of money and it will cost their peace of mind because they don't have a peaceful life at home.
Marriage is the biggest mistake a man can make. Well put. I get divorced and lost more than 50% to my ex who didn't work. Don't get married. Marriage is not a financial transaction, and if you see it like this, the problem is you. Correct. The more money a man makes, the more he should stay single. The costs of divorce are way too high. A majority of men today do see marriage as a scam, the very idea of it. The thing is, marriage can be great until the woman thinks she can do better, until she starts comparing her life, her man, and her relationship to social media fantasies, to the highlight reels of others, or to the idea that she's settling. It's great until society feeds her the lie that she's being held back, that her independence is being threatened by commitment, or that she deserves more simply because she exists. It's great until she's bored, until her friends tell her she could have done better, until she looks at a man who's built a life with her and starts thinking, what else is out there? And the worst part, the man who gave her everything gets left behind, broken and blamed for not being enough, while the system still demands he pays up through alimony, child support, or court battles.
Marriage in 2023 isn't marriage. It is not marriage today.
What is it?
It's something else. Like we can't call it marriage if you can, like, what is marriage? It's supposed to be for better, for worse, for richer and poor, for sickness and in health. Not until I felt like leaving. Right.
Okay.
And so it's like when you have a contract that is supposed to be for life and now anyone can leave for any reason. I just think marriage today isn't marriage. It's just at this point a long-term relationship.
Do you feel women are rewarded to get divorced?
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh. Yes. And I especially learned this through the divorce documentary that I'm doing when I interview these men that are like getting like actually completely wrecked by these women. Oh my gosh.
I'm divorced 4 times. Let's look. You tell me. What do you want to know?
What is the most toxic thing that you've ever done?
Okay, let's do this. All right. Take them to court and then get a good divorce lawyer, of course. Take them for half of the retirement. Take them half of their property and then fight them for higher child support, okay? And a couple of years from now, hit you up for more child support every 3 years. Every 3 years, you go up from maybe 200 to 300 to 400 to 500. You bring it up to $2,000 per child. Per child. But I got one child right here. Kaylin right here. Her daddy paying child support for her.
So she took him to court, took half of the retirement fund that he most likely worked decades for, half of the property that he paid the mortgage on, and then turned around and fought for higher child support, like it was a paycheck, not a responsibility. Not only is this toxic, it's evil, because it's not just about the money, it's about betrayal. It's about a man who gave his best years to building a life, a home, and a future, only to be repaid with courtroom ambushes and a system that sides with her without question. She got rewarded for leaving. She got praised for being strong and independent, while dismantling the very foundation they built together. This is modern-day exploitation, dressed up as empowerment. This is why men are walking away. Not because they're afraid of commitment, but because they've seen what happens when commitment is no longer respected. This right here is disgusting.
I'm in my 40s. I've never been married. I have no children. Hello, my name is Jacqueline. I've noticed I've gained a few new followers, so I just wanted to do a very, very quick intro. My page just showcases what my reality is like in this single era.
No one talks about divorcing a good guy. I've been divorced twice, both of which were my decision, and neither one of them were abusing me or cheating on me. That doesn't mean there wasn't a pile of other reasons as to why we couldn't maintain a healthy relationship. People get divorced for all kinds of reasons. Maybe you don't agree on how to parent your kids. Maybe you suck at communicating and argue all the time. Maybe you don't agree on money and you have financial issues. Maybe there's no intimacy and you feel like you're living with a roommate. Those are all valid reasons to not want to stay in a relationship.
I've had my husband blocked on TikTok for years because, like I said before, my activity on the internet is none of his business. But recently I was feeling kind, so I unblocked him. And at first his intrusion into my internet life started slow. It was him liking my videos. It was him sending me things. It was fine. I didn't love it, but it was fine. But recently, he's crossed the line. We were chatting this morning, and he just casually looks at me and he goes, "I see you followed somebody named Girthmaster." None of his business. And I didn't know what to say, so I just got red in the face and was like, I fumbled. I didn't, and it just, this is my private space. This is my private internet. He's about to get blocked again, I swear to God.
All I know is that if my man had me blocked on social media, my feelings could not withstand it. Even if my man watched all my content that popped up on his feed, but he just one time swiped to the next video before the end of my video, my feelings could not withstand it. And I understand having a private space, but isn't it your relationship that's the private space? Not the space between you and your followers or the people that you follow? I don't know, do what you want, but a good rule of thumb, I believe, is that if you wouldn't do it in front of them, you shouldn't do it.
This woman is obviously delusional. A public social media account isn't private. It's public. It's only private when it comes to her husband, but wide open to strangers. Think about that. She's blocking the man she married, the man she lives with, the man who provides and protects. But she's perfectly fine sharing herself with random guys online. That's not privacy. That's deception. Not only is this a red flag, it's a billboard screaming emotional disloyalty. You don't block your husband unless you're trying to hide something. Whether it's flirtation, validation seeking, or straight up attention from other men, it's shady. You're supposed to be one flesh, one unit, but she's living like a single woman with a secret digital life. That's not how wives behave. That's how people act when they're keeping options open, when they're fishing for backup plans, when they care more about external attention than internal commitment.
I'm not even gonna lie, I really am a lover girl, and my end goal for relationships is to be married one day. Like, I don't know, I just feel like I'm just meant for one person. Like, I don't want to just be dealing with all these men. I just don't want that. Like, I want a family. I want to have kids. Like, I want a big house. Like, I want the white picket fence. Like, I want the nannies. I want the butlers. Like, I want the maids. I want the cooks. Like, I just want that rich lifestyle that other women out here are experiencing, you know? And, like, I really want a nice, handsome husband that's very respectful, that's a gentleman, that really just love me and the kids that I'm about to give him. Like, I don't care how bad y'all try to downplay marriage, but marriage is something that I really do want for myself. I don't know. I just feel like being in the Black community, we don't really see, like, a lot of marriages within our family. And, like, that's just something that I really just want for me. You know? I don't know. That's just how I feel.
If a guy is liking my Instagram story, it's immediately over.
Wait, what? Could someone explain this to me? Why exactly would it be immediately over if a guy likes their Instagram story? Doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
I get the ick. I think it comes off as very immature.
Okay.
Like, if you're liking my Instagram story, you're probably liking every other girl's Instagram story. You know what I mean?
So let me get this straight. They would rather the guy not like their Instagram story because they want to feel special, because they don't feel special if the guy likes their Instagram story because he's most likely liking every other girl's story. Is anybody else confused?
So, like, I don't know. I don't like it. I'm not a fan.
So then don't post an Instagram story. But then how would they get attention? But remember, gentlemen, there are women out there that will only like you if you absolutely pretend to ignore them and don't give them any positive attention. This is confusing.
This is why I say a man just can't win with women. She says, if a guy likes her Instagram story, it's immediately over. But what sense does that make? A simple like shouldn't be a deal breaker, yet somehow it's treated like the ultimate betrayal. Meanwhile, she's out here posting pictures, sharing stories, and putting herself in the spotlight, expecting all kinds of attention, and then acting like getting any of it is a problem. It's like women want to have it both ways. They want the validation from other men, but want to control how those men show it. If a guy likes her story, suddenly she's done with him, but she thrives on that attention. It's a confusing, contradictory game where men can never seem to get it right. If a man expresses interest in the smallest way, it's the end. But if she's throwing out signs, baiting for attention, and expecting everyone to notice, then it's perfectly fine.
Hey ladies, one time I told a dude that when I get married, I want someone who is going to provide for me and pay all of these bills. Duh. He said something to the effect of, you don't want a man, you want a dad. You must not have a dad ever, blah, 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 blah. No, sir. I do have a dad. That's why I want that. My dad spoiled me to death and still does to this day. If I call that man right now and tell him I need some money, it's going to be in my cash app within the next 10 minutes. So you think I'm going to go from that to being in a relationship with a man who don't do nothing for me? Does that make sense to you? Like, just make it make sense. Make it make sense. That's what a man is supposed to do, in my opinion. Now, if that's not how you feel, that's completely okay. There are plenty of women out here on the earth who do not believe that a man's job in a relationship is to protect and provide. Go find one of them and do whatever it is that dummies do when they get together. But if you want to be over here, it's going to cost you something, sir. Sorry, blame David.
So I've come to the conclusion that women are hotter than men, objectively. I just came back from a night out in New York City. It's Valentine's Day, so all of the couples are together. They're either at dinner, at home, whatever. So you'd assume that when you're out, all the like singles, hot single people are out and about. And that is correct for the most part. I look around, I'm at the club, right? I look around, tens all around for women, beautiful women surrounding me. And then there's men as well. And like, they're just there. When I'm walking to get coffee in the morning, I'll like walk past the most beautiful woman I've ever seen in my entire life. And I'll see like 10 minutes later, I'll see another one just on the subway or on the street. gorgeous outfit, gorgeous face, beautiful hair, amazing style, amazing confidence all the time. And then I'm lucky if maybe I see like one hot guy a week or like have a crush. The crush economy in New York is abysmal. So, yeah, good luck with that.
This woman said that she came to the conclusion that women are hotter than men, but to that I would say it's nonsense. When women say things like this, they're comparing non-organic women to men. They're comparing insecure women who are wearing makeup, filters, fake eyelashes, every type of enhancement out there, to men who show up naturally. It's like comparing a heavily edited photo to a raw, unfiltered one and claiming one is better just because it's been doctored. The truth is, natural beauty is real beauty. Confidence, authenticity, and self-respect shine brighter than any contour or filter ever could. When women boost their appearance with all these artificial enhancements, they create an illusion, one that doesn't hold up in real life or genuine connection. So when someone says women are hotter than men, what they really mean is that women are better at hiding behind makeup and digital tricks.
70% of divorce is initiated by women, and up to 90% is initiated by college-educated women. What does that say?
All right, I'll give you an answer, but we both know you're not going to like it. And I'm going to start off with what it doesn't say, which, let's be honest, is the whole goal of your video. You know, how you want to imply that it's entirely men's fault that women file for divorce, because, women are perfect. And your other goal, which is to, in the process, get a whole bunch of clicks, likes, comments, and validation from women who hate men as much as you do, which is exactly what's happening. But that's not what it says. Not even close. So we're going to talk a little reality instead of wallowing in fantasy. We're going to talk about what it really says. First of all, it says that despite all their supposed education, women don't live in reality, but in delusion. In fact, they wallow in it. It says that women have convinced themselves that life is supposed to be perfect, and of course, men are also supposed to be perfect. And if he's not, which, by the way, is something he can never be, well, then he should be tossed aside. It says that women think that they are the table and deserve to be treated like queens while having to offer nothing, literally nothing in return. It shows that women aren't true to their commitments, aren't true to their word. It's no longer till death do us part, but instead, until my marriage isn't exactly like I've seen in all those umpteenth Hallmark movies I've watched. It says that women aren't willing to admit that a good marriage isn't something that just happens, but something that takes time and effort, neither of which they're willing to put in. It says that even the best of marriages have their ups and downs, and that women will bail at the first sign of trouble. And finally, it says, as more and more men are figuring out, that dating, marriage, and women are something to be avoided. Avoided like the plague, because women's expectations within them have become completely unrealistic and can never be met. Now, I know the ladies are going to go nuts over what I just said and, of course, deny that's the case. But in reality, that's exactly what's being said.
I agree. When a woman files for divorce, especially at the rate they're filing these days, it truly shows that they aren't serious about the commitment and vows they made. Marriage is supposed to be a lifelong promise, a partnership through thick and thin. But when so many walk away at the first sign of trouble, it reveals a lack of real dedication and perseverance. It's not about staying in a bad or harmful situation, but about understanding that marriage requires work, sacrifice, and patience from both sides. Too often, the instant problems arise. Instead of seeking solutions, some choose to exit. That mindset turns commitment into a disposable contract, something to be discarded whenever things get inconvenient or uncomfortable. This easy exit mentality damages the foundation of marriage and undermines trust, not just between partners, but across generations.